All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is Bully Mascot coming at you from the third row, giving you an elbow smash with opinions and things that I see that's going on in this country. We got a brand new president. We got a Congress that's just steamrolling laws into our lives that are taking over things. I don't know where to start, but I'm going to start somewhere. Let's go ahead and talk about what's going on. The first day, the first week, the president got into power. What does he do? He just signs a bunch of executive orders and just wipes out thousands and thousands of jobs here in the United States. We know they were not going to be permanent, but my Lord, what did he do? He didn't consult with anybody. He just went ahead and just wiped out up to 11,000 jobs here in the United States and wiped out 1,000 jobs in Canada from the Keystone Pipeline. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the Keystone Pipeline. The thing that's been tossed around like a political football from Obama to Trump and now Biden. For heaven's sake. You just can't stop things all of a sudden. You have to transition out of it. Eventually, we're going to have alternative energy sources, but we just can't stop one thing without having the other thing in place. So let's talk about that. You know, the oil that was going through that pipeline, it's not going to stop. It's still going to come to the United States from Canada, but it's just going to cost more. They're going to send it in trucks, and they're going to send it on the train. And guess what? They burn diesel. And they create carbon when that oil going through the pipe wasn't creating any kind of carbon. And at the same time, it was creating jobs, and it had jobs for people to support their families. And we're not talking $10 an hour or $15 an hour. We're talking $80,000+ a year. And those are the people that worked on the pipe. We're not even talking about the jobs that were killed by the people that were supporting them, supplies, tools, material, and then the people that live throughout the pipeline in those towns that was renting and giving service and feeding these workers. Mr. Biden, President Biden, hiding Biden. Oh Lord, what have you done? Have you even thought about it? Of course not. You're a freaking millionaire, just like a bunch of the elites in the Democratic Party. So think about that. And now we're going to be dependent on other countries because we can't even produce the oil that was supposed to come down to Texas and Louisiana that we were going to process for the Canadian government. This guy's mine. I don't know where it's at. Well, I think alternative energy sources are good. They don't produce the amount of energy we need, so we still need oil until we come up with a technology that does not create carbon emissions. We need to slowly get off fossil fuels. But we're still going to need products. You know, there are 144 byproducts out of oil, just not gasoline and diesel. And talking about that, how are planes going to fly? How are planes going to fly? We still need some kind of fuel for aircraft to fly. And please, don't talk to me about biofuels. The United States Air Force tried it several years ago. And yeah, it wasn't 100%. It was just part of the fuel they experimented on it. But we don't hear anything that they're still using it. Okay, so the Americans are not the only ones that have lost jobs, Canadians too. And the Prime Minister said he was disappointed with President Biden. Yeah, I'm sure he was up there probably kicking some cans around and throwing stones at mirrors because he was upset. I'm pretty sure he was, but he's not going to tell Biden. Okay, so let's think about that. Americans out of work. That means money is not going back in the economy. That means they have to live on unemployment. And everything else, when you reduce a product, everything else that it was producing starts going up. So think about that. Please Think about that. All right, talking about that. Now you got the Russians that are very happy because we can't even produce natural gas. The Russians are going to be pumping that puppy into Europe, and the Europeans are now going to be subject to what the Russians are going to charge them. We were sending natural gas to Europe, and now the Russians are going to be the ones taking full advantage of what President Biden has done, because he said during this campaign that he was going to stop fracking, that he was going to stop oil production, that was going to be phased out, and these greenies think that it's going to be completely wiped out, and paradise is going to be put on earth when it comes to the environment. Listen, the United States can go 100% renewable, but that does not make the rest of the world follow us, especially China, which is one of the biggest polluters in the world. They're one of the biggest polluters in the world and one of the biggest consumers when it comes to fossil fuel. So, ladies and gentlemen, think about that. Think about that. All right, let's go talk about now. Let's talk about now about immigration. Oh my God. The president's been in office 2 months. He has rolled back everything that Trump put into place to keep this country safe and to keep people from coming here. Okay? Listen, this is a great country. We're kind-hearted. But the problem here is that when you tell people, come, don't worry about it. We'll take you. You know what? There's a pandemic. There's something still out there that's killing millions of people, that has killed 500,000 people. Okay? So we're going to let these people come in, and guess what? Since January, we have thousands and thousands of kids coming to the border. And you know, these lefties, these liberals, these socialists were talking about Trump was separating families. You know what? Biden's policy is separating thousands and thousands of children from their family. They're coming up here without their parents, and then they're going to have to put them somewhere. And we don't even know where we're going to put them. We just see a box, a tractor trailer, a cabin that's going to be used as a temporary shelter. But if you look real good at the pictures that were shown in the news, there's bars on the window, and we don't even know what's in there because they won't even let the reporters in there. So this is freaking ridiculous. We got thousands and thousands in one weekend. We had over 2,000 kids come up to the border. It breaks my heart seeing little children, as probably young as 4 years old. Where's their parents? Where's their parents? This is freaking ridiculous. President Biden said that he was not going to deport anybody within 100 days after his going into office. Talk about a clothesline to the American economy, to the American people, to this nation. That's like jumping off a third rope and having not a regular elbow smash, but an elbow smash with a steel wrapping around it. This is freaking ridiculous. And now, it's been reported in Brownsville, Texas, that there's been over 103 people identified as positive when it comes to COVID. And they're complaining about the Texas governor letting loose on the mandate when it comes to masks. We're bringing in people who are positive on COVID. And talking about that, well, President Trump stopped people from coming from China. Our illustrious leader, President Biden, said that he was xenophobic. I don't know what to say. I think to smash this guy's head into the mat too many times. And talking about that, I feel sorry for the guy. He can't even remember stuff. He had one day where they had a ceremony remembering the people who have died from COVID, and the next day he couldn't remember the numbers. He walks around with a little cardboard in his suit, pulls it out to read it. It is freaking ridiculous. It's freaking ridiculous. And it's been 60 days since he walked into the Oval Office. And he still won't have a solo press conference. They asked him a question. Did they give him a briefing about the border situation? He said, yeah. And what did you learn? I learned a lot. That's all, and he walks away. And then his people are shooing the reporters out. We all know what's going to happen here, folks. We know that the vice president's going to take over.